Listen up, woman of wisdom, woman of grace, woman of resilience. You might think that time has passed you by, that you're too old, too tired, or too worn out to make a difference. But let me tell you something. God has not forgotten you. In fact, He's walking right beside you every single step of the way, and here are the signs that prove it. First, you've got peace inside of you. Real peace. No matter what storms life tries to throw your way, you hold your head high. You walk with a calmness that says, I trust in God's plan. That inner peace is not from the world. It's a gift. And that's your first sign right there. God is with you. Now, some might say you're too old to start something new, but I see a renewed purpose in you. You've got fire in your heart, a desire to make an impact. You've got wisdom, experience, and a story to share that can light the way for others. When you wake up every day, you're reminded that you're not finished yet, you're just getting started. That's God at work, showing you your purpose. Let me tell you something else. You may feel weak in the body, but your spirit is as strong as it's ever been. Every time you take a step, every time you face a challenge, you find strength you didn't know you had. That strength is not yours alone. That's God holding you up, pushing you forward. The more you lean on Him, the stronger you become. You're living proof that God's power shines brightest when you're weak. And then there's the compassion in your heart. You look around and you see people struggling, people hurting, and something deep inside you says, I've got to help. That's not just your own kindness. That's God moving through you, giving you the heart to serve others, to make this world a little bit better. You're a living testament to His love. And let's not forget the blessings that show up at just the right time. Maybe it's a phone call from a friend or a quiet moment that makes everything seem right again. Maybe it's a simple conversation that lifts your spirit. These blessings aren't by chance. They're signs that God is right beside you, making sure you're never alone, never without what you need. And when it comes time to make decisions, big or small, you don't have to worry about being lost. God has been preparing you for this moment your whole life. You're not fumbling in the dark. You're walking with a clear sense of direction because He's guiding your steps, whispering wisdom into your soul. Finally, let me tell you this. You've got joy. You've got gratitude. You're not bitter. You're not angry. You've learned to find beauty in the small things, and that's a sign that God is with you. The joy in your heart, the gratitude in your spirit, that's the Holy Spirit filling you with everything you need to keep moving forward. So don't let anyone tell you that it's too late. Don't let anyone tell you that your best days are behind you, because when God is walking beside you, there's no such thing as being too old to shine. You've got a purpose, you've got strength, you've got peace. And with God by your side, there's nothing you can't do. Keep going, keep moving, keep trusting. You've got this. There is a kind of peace that goes beyond human understanding, a peace that doesn't rely on circumstances or external conditions. It's not the absence of problems, nor is it about having everything perfectly in place. This peace is something deeper, something unshakable. It is the kind of peace that comes when you know, without a doubt, that God is walking beside you. As an older woman, you have faced your share of struggles, heartbreak, loss, disappointment, and seasons of uncertainty. You've seen dreams fade and relationships change. You've walked through moments where the weight of life felt unbearable, where the future seemed uncertain, and where the past carried regrets. And yet, through it all, you have found a sense of calm. Even when life throws storms your way, there is an anchor within you that keeps you steady. That anchor is faith, and that faith is proof that God is near. This peace doesn't mean you don't feel pain. It doesn't mean you don't cry or worry. But somewhere deep in your spirit, there is a quiet knowing, a confidence that no matter what comes, you are held in the hands of something greater than yourself. You don't panic the way you used to. You don't react the way you once did. There is wisdom in you now, a knowing that every difficulty you faced has only made you stronger, and every loss has been met with a deeper sense of God's presence. This peace allows you to trust even when you don't have all the answers. It gives you the strength to walk forward even when you can't see the whole path. It's a peace that speaks in whispers, reminding you that you are never alone. There comes a point in life when the world tries to convince you that your best days are behind you. It whispers that you've done enough, that your time for making an impact has passed. But deep inside, something stirs. A quiet voice reminding you that as long as you have breath in your body, God is not finished with you yet. Purpose does not fade with age. In fact, it often becomes clearer, more refined, more powerful. You may have spent years caring for others, raising children, building a career, or sacrificing for your family, but now, in this season of life, something is shifting. You begin to realize that your journey has equipped you with wisdom, experiences, and lessons that others need. There are younger women looking for guidance, children needing love, and communities in need of voices like yours. Strong, seasoned, and filled with grace, new doors begin to open, not always in grand ways, but in the quiet moments where you feel a pull towards something meaningful. Maybe it's mentoring someone, volunteering, writing down your story, or simply showing up with encouragement when someone needs it most. The things that once seemed small now feel significant because you see them through different eyes. You no longer feel the pressure to prove yourself. You're not chasing after the approval of the world. Instead, you are walking in alignment with something greater. There is joy in rediscovering old passions, in embracing new opportunities, and in realizing that purpose isn't about age. It's about obedience to the calling that never left you. The fire within you is not fading. It is being refined, shaped, and strengthened. You are stepping into a season where every moment matters, where your presence carries weight, and where God's plan for your life is still unfolding. There are days when your body feels tired, when the aches linger a little longer, and the energy doesn't come as easily as it once did. The mirror reflects changes, and the tasks that used to feel effortless now require more patience and endurance. The world often equates strength with physical ability, but there is a deeper strength, one that does not fade with time. It is the kind of strength that comes from knowing who you are, and more importantly, whose you are. Life has tested you. You have faced moments when you didn't think you could go on, when heartbreak, disappointment, or loss tried to break you. But here you stand. You may not be as physically strong as you once were, but your spirit has grown resilient. Every challenge, every hardship, every battle you have endured has only made you stronger in ways that truly matter. You have learned that strength is not about muscle. It is about endurance, about faith, about holding on when everything around you tells you to let go. You have discovered that even in weakness, God is your source of power. When you feel like you cannot take another step, somehow you do. When burdens feel too heavy to carry, somehow they become lighter. When you feel like you have nothing left to give, you find yourself pouring into others with wisdom and grace. This is not by your own strength, it is by His. There is beauty in surrender, in admitting that you cannot do it all, yet knowing that God is more than enough. In your weakest moments, you have found the greatest source of power, not in yourself, but in the one who walks beside you, lifting you up when you need it most. As the years pass, something inside you shifts. You begin to see people differently, not just for what they show on the surface, but for what they carry beneath it. The struggles, the silent battles, the unspoken pain. You recognize them because you have walked through them yourself. The heart that may have once been quick to judge now pauses to understand. The experiences that once brought you pain have softened you, teaching you to look at others with gentler eyes. Compassion is no longer just a word, it is something you feel deeply. You find yourself drawn to those who are hurting, sensing their needs before they even speak. You see the lonely, the forgotten, the ones who put on a brave face but are longing for someone to notice them. You offer kindness not because it is expected, but because you remember what it felt like to need it yourself. Life has taught you that sometimes a simple word of encouragement, a listening ear, or a warm embrace can mean more than grand gestures. There is an unshakable truth that becomes clearer with time. Everyone is carrying something. The strongest people you know have wounds they do not always reveal. And so you choose to love a little deeper, to extend more grace, to forgive more freely. You no longer seek to prove a point. You seek to heal. The desire to be right is replaced by the desire to be kind. What once seemed unimportant now matters deeply. The things you used to overlook now catch your attention. The burdens of others no longer seem distant, because your heart has learned to feel what theirs might be feeling, and in loving them, in standing beside them, you realize that every trial you have endured has given you the ability to be exactly who someone else needs. There are moments in life that cannot be explained by logic or reason, moments where something shifts in your favor without any effort of your own. A need is met before you even speak it aloud. A door opens that you never knocked on. A burden lifts just when it felt too heavy to bear. These are not coincidences. These are signs that God is walking beside you, orchestrating things in ways beyond your understanding. You have seen it happen time and time again. Just when you thought you were alone, a friend reached out. Just when you felt like giving up, strength arrived from somewhere deep within. Just when finances seemed tight, an unexpected provision came through. Life has taught you that blessings do not always come in grand, obvious ways. Sometimes they appear in the quiet moments, a sunrise that fills you with peace, a kind word that reaches you at the perfect time, a simple act of love that reminds you you are seen. There are times you have prayed for something specific, only to receive something even better. And then there are times when the answer did not come the way you expected, yet later, you realized it was exactly what you needed. God's hand has been in your life in ways you may never fully grasp. The closed doors that once frustrated you were His protection. The delays that tested your patience were preparing you for something greater. You no longer question every twist and turn. You trust that even when you cannot see the full picture, He is working behind the scenes. The blessings, both big and small, are constant reminders that you are not walking this journey alone. You are being cared for in ways that go beyond what you could ever ask or imagine. There have been moments in your life when you stood at a crossroads, unsure of which direction to take. Decisions that once seemed simple became heavier with time as you realized how much weight even the smallest choices can carry. But as the years have passed, something has changed. You no longer feel the need to figure everything out on your own. There is a quiet confidence within you, a sense of knowing that you are not making these decisions alone. You have seen it before, times when you were uncertain, yet somehow you ended up exactly where you needed to be. You remember moments when fear threatened to paralyze you, but you stepped forward anyway, only to realize later that something greater was guiding you all along. There have been choices you made that didn't make sense at the time, but looking back, you see the hand of God gently leading you, protecting you from paths that were never meant for you. You have learned to listen, not just with your ears, but with your spirit. You recognize when something feels right, when peace surrounds a decision, even if it is difficult. And you have also learned to recognize the hesitation, the unease, that signals a door should remain closed. These are not just feelings. They are the quiet whispers of divine direction, the unseen hand of God moving through your life. Even when the path ahead is not fully clear, you have the wisdom to trust that the next step will be revealed in its time. You no longer rush or force things to happen. Instead, you walk forward with faith, knowing that the same God who has guided you this far will continue to lead you exactly where you need to go. There was a time when joy felt tied to circumstances, when happiness seemed to come and go depending on what was happening around you. But as the years have passed, you have discovered something deeper. Joy that is not dependent on what you have or what you lack, but on an unshakable sense of gratitude for what is already within you. You have learned to appreciate the small things, the quiet moments that once went unnoticed, the warmth of the morning sun, the sound of laughter, the comfort of a familiar voice. These are not just passing details, but reminders of life's beauty. You no longer take them for granted. Even in seasons of loss, you have found reasons to be grateful. Even when things did not go as planned, you have learned to see the hidden blessings in them. There is a lightness in your heart that was not always there. Worries that once consumed you have lost their grip. You no longer spend your days chasing after things that do not bring true fulfillment. Instead, you rest in the knowledge that you are exactly where you are meant to be, that everything you need has already been provided in one way or another. This joy is not about pretending that hardships do not exist. It is about knowing that even in the midst of challenges, there is still so much to be thankful for. Gratitude has shifted your perspective, allowing you to find peace in what you have rather than longing for what you do not. The more you give thanks, the more you realize how much there truly is to celebrate. And with that realization, joy becomes not just a fleeting feeling, but a way of living, a choice made every single day.